Well, you're just 17.
Hello everyone and welcome to day 4 of JoJomas, where today we will be talking about one of the better, if not the best villain in all of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Yoshikage Kira. For JoJomas, I usually have a volume of manga to show which character I'm talking about, but unfortunately Diamond is Unbreakable is not yet released in the nice hardcover JoJoniums in English, although it is confirmed, although that won't be for another 2 years. Because we have to wait for Stardust Crusaders to finish being released in JoJonium formats until Diamond is Unbreakable can start. Although Stardust Crusaders already came out a long time ago in English in these single Viz Media volumes, but I guess you just have to rebuy Stardust Crusaders again, and then you can get Diamond is Unbreakable. But anyways, getting on to today's episode, JoJomas, Yoshikage Kira. I guess I'll just do one of these, since I don't have anything physically. Main villain of Part 4, definitely considered one of the best villains in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You guys all know, you should know, that my favorite villain is Funny Valentine. I am just counting down the days until the 7th day of JoJomas so I can just glorify this man. But I will say that Yoshikage Kira is definitely the best written villain in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and he is definitely the most human and relatable, if that's possible. There's so much to talk about when it comes to Kira Yoshikage. It could be, 10 separate videos in itself, so I won't get too much into it just in an episode of JoJomas here, but there's just so many things that Kira does right, and it was such a breath of fresh air from all of the previous villains of JoJo. Before, it was always these gods with similar goals, wanting to take over the world, or wanting, global control, in the form of Cars being the ultimate life form, and Dio's mission in Part 1 just sort of continued over to Part 3. Of course, in Part 6, we find out his whole goal with Heaven and trying to achieve the perfect stand, and, trying to make everyone know their fate and everything like that, but that's for day 6. So, Kira was really a step in a different direction for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. We were always having these huge, wide-scale battles between someone trying to, essentially gods trying to take over the world, with Dio and the world being a vampire and Cars being the ultimate life form. Kira was a really isolated instant. Kira didn't want to take over the world. He didn't want any sort of power at all. He just wanted to be average, and he just wanted to live his quiet life. And he was willing to do anything to protect that quiet life. And just for Araki to take that risk is really brave, having his series be established with these large-scale villains, but now, instead of him making the main character go up against gods or anything like that, he wanted to make a businessman be a villain. And it's really interesting to see how Araki made him just as antagonizing and even more malicious just by his appearance than Dio and Cars. Dio and Cars were able to have really elegant and really profound designs because of their, who they were. But when it comes to Kira, it's sort of, how do I introduce a character that is nothing more than average, just wants to live a quiet life, and is just a businessman that doesn't stand out at all, but make him look like he is capable of the worst kinds of things and be, one of the most menacing antagonists the series has ever seen. And he does it perfectly. Like I said, Kira has the most nuance out of any character, just his color palette, with the purples representing just a large form of mystery around him, and just the soundtrack that David Production used in the animation was just spot on everything with Kira's character. So Araki was able to take the series in a shift from Aztec gods to immortal vampires, that wanted to show off their power through their designs. And Araki made a businessman wearing a suit and tie just as menacing as them. And although Kira Yoshikage is a serial killer, I think he is one of the most relatable and understandable villains in all of JoJo, and feels like a real person more so than anyone else. Even more so than a lot of the main characters and a lot of the characters that were made specifically to be relatable. Kira just rose above the pack and just shined through as a character who felt real. And that's not to say that no other character in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is relatable or feels real. It's just all of the nuance and all of the minor details and all of the characteristics of Kira just made him do it so much better. So before I get in a 20-minute ramble about why I love Yoshikage Kira and why he is a great character, let's move on to the JoJomas aspects of this video. Favorite moment and least favorite moment from Kira. So starting with my favorite moment, and unlike all of the other days where we don't really see the villains until the very end and they're always hidden in shadows, we see Kira quite a bit throughout Diamond is Unbreakable, and especially around the middle point of the series. I believe it was in episode 17 of the anime, Rohan Kishibe's Bizarre Adventure, when he stumbles into Josuke and Koichi, and I believe Okuyasu was there, and we just see him in his car, And before any words are spoken, before we see anything about his character, just as soon as he shows up and just the mood and tone of that scene, we just know that he is the main villain of this part. And it becomes evident as that scene goes on, and we just see, we're introduced to Kira, essentially. It's essentially his introduction scene that was by far my favorite moment from his character. Again, focusing on the animation, David Production's soundtrack was just so spot on to make this character seem so mysterious, so dangerous, and so malicious. And as the scene continues, as we see Kira drive home, talking to someone who has not yet been revealed, you just have this sense that something is off. You see a hand touching Kira, and you hear him talking to the person about their watch and their bag. And when they finally get home, you see him, almost escort them out of the car. But anytime we see the car, there's no one in the passenger seat. That leaves this sense of mystery and danger to this character. And then it's revealed that the entire time, this average, everyday person is a serial killer and has been talking to a hand the entire time. And just the way Kira is sort of role-playing here and just going along and sort of lying to himself and telling himself that this is a real person. Like when the blood drips down, he says, "Oh, you spilled something," and he uses her hand to clean up the blood off his seat. It's just, it told us so much about his character and really everything we needed to know to set up him as the main villain for the part, and it was just an absolute beautiful scene in both the anime and the manga. So favorite moment from Yoshikage Kira was his introduction scene that told us so much about his character with so little words spoken and just so much nuance. So although I chose this scene as my favorite because it was so prolific, I think, for his character, there's so many other amazing moments from Kira. So again, let me know what your guys' favorite moments are down below and why. So now getting on to my least favorite moment from Kira. And you guys are probably seeing a trend here in JoJomas, what I don't like about villains. And it's pretty much very similar to my least favorite moment from Cars from part 2, when he transformed into the ultimate life form and his ego went through the roof, his confidence went through the roof, and his cockiness. Although it wasn't all of that got Cars killed, but it definitely led to it, as he could have defeated Joseph so easily. But he just kept on, dragging it on, and it ended up being, just random luck and Joseph's strong will that ended up defeating Cars. But you guys can go back and watch that video if you haven't seen it yet, day 2. So getting on to what I disliked about Yoshikage Kira, and it was when he achieved Bites the Dust. I really liked his transformation to Kosuke, and it had so many great things about his character. I mean, if I had to go with a second favorite scene from Kira, it was probably when he was developing real feelings for Shinobu, although he was playing it off as like, oh god, I can't let anything happen to Shinobu or Hayato, for that matter, because, it'll sort of ruin this illusion of what I'm trying to pull off here, that I have a family and everything, and it'll mess everything up. But we could really tell that Kira actually did care about Shinobu. And although Hayato said things like, "Oh, once my fake father, kills Josuke and everyone, he'll just kill me and my mother," I don't think that's true. I think if Kira was successful, he would have taken Shinobu and Hayato as his own, and would have just taken the role of Kosuke to continue his quiet life, just with a family now. So, a lot of great things there after his transformation into Kosuke, but when he achieved Bites the Dust, he just became so cocky and so confident, and it really ruined what I loved about his character. It sort of threw, I keep saying this word a lot, but it's really relevant to Kira, it threw a lot of his nuance out the window, and just sort of turned him into another stereotypical villain, with an ego through the roof, with an ability who he thinks he's untouchable, and it ends up being that own confidence and cockiness that gets himself killed, screaming, it is I, Yoshikage Kira, and it reveals his name to Josuke and everyone, and ends up, launching the final battle and the events that inevitably get him killed. It was absurd. Even after, he thinks he activates Bites the Dust and he arrives in the Morio Ghost Alley, he's like, "Yes, I won! Like, I, Yoshikage Kira, have conquered time once again, and I am on top, and luck is on my side," and everything. And it's just like, those final episodes with Kosuke, like, it was sort of as soon as he slicked the hair back, he wasn't Kira to me anymore. He just turned into another stereotypical villain, although there is underlying messages to that, and, the reasons why he became that way. But I don't know. I just didn't really like that about Kira. That final, as soon as he slicked the hair back, everything I loved about Kira sort of went out the window. It was still there, but it wasn't represented much, and he really turned into that stereotypical villain, but that sort of needed to happen for him to lose. The Kira we knew once before wasn't going to lose. We saw him get out of a situation against Jotaro, Okuyasu, Josuke, bloody on the ground, and Kira, in his, normal manner, still managed to find a way out of that situation. So he sort of needed to be overconfident and over cocky to be able to lose to the, Golden Hearts and Morio. So that is my least favorite moment from Kira, his confidence and ego boost once attaining bites the dust. And I think it took a lot of things that a lot of people and myself liked about his character and threw it right out the window. But anyways, guys, like I said, let me know what your favorite Kira and least favorite Kira moments are in the comments down below. Tomorrow, we're going to be taking on mob boss leader of Passione, Diavolo. Can't wait for that. So, thank you all for watching this video. Day 4, almost, we're already halfway through JoJomas. It's crazy. It's crazy how fast time goes. I feel like JoJomas was just like 6 months ago. But anyways, guys, thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you all tomorrow, alright? Goodbye.